Right, boys and girls, I got a real treat for you today, and the video is going to be a little bit different to normal, but essentially we're going to be doing a full in-depth review of the #1 shop on Etsy that has made over 2.8 million sales on the platform. And now we're going to be reviewing absolutely everything about what makes this shop so special. So we're going to look at the appearance, the listings, the products, the actual business model that the shop uses, and we're going to take an in-depth look at the SEO. So, you know, literally everything. And I can pretty much guarantee that by the end of this video, there should be at least one thing that you can take away from what this #1 shop on Etsy does, that you can then put straight into your own business to help you massively start improving your sales. All right, so let's just jump straight into this Etsy review then, shall we? And of course, some of you may know already, but the #1 shop on Etsy is Caitlin Minimalist. You can see here 2.8 million sales on the platform. They sell dainty personalized jewelry, it's handmade, and I can already tell that this is a massive reason why the shop has become successful, because if we take a look at the stats, we can actually see that 60% of shoppers on Etsy are actually female, and on top of that, a further 73% of shoppers on Etsy are actually looking for gifts, okay? So you can kind of see that already, just purely with this business, it's hitting essentially the #1 market on Etsy. So it's already got a major advantage. And now I just want to start by taking a look at the first impressions and sort of the overall appearance of the shop that kind of strikes you straight away. And so you can see immediately that this is a very professional banner that we're presented with, but it's actually pretty simple to make. So, I mean, yeah, it looks incredible, it looks professional, but a lot of that is actually just down to the photography and the actual quality of the photography used. But I mean, you can essentially just pull up a Canva template where you can literally just throw in 3 different photos, a little bit of text overlay, and I mean, that is literally what this banner is. It is very simple to make, but of course it looks incredible. And then if we go down to the logo as well, you see this, again, it's such a simple logo. Like, it's very minimal, of course, which goes with the brand. But I mean, this kind of backs up the point that I keep saying that, yes, although the banner and the logo is very important, the main thing is to just not do something terrible rather than actually putting loads of your effort into trying to make something which is incredible, okay? So something middle of the road, average, as long as you've got, you know, the rest of your shop is set up really well and you're actually selling good products, it should actually be fine just to make a start on Etsy. And then of course, over time, that's when you start to look to improve these things like the banner, you know, the quality of your photography, which obviously this shop has done very well. So you can see here, star seller, yep, amazing. This immediately builds trust with the audience. So any shoppers that go on this shop can see straight away history of dispatching items on time, reply to your messages pretty much straight away. All of the reviews are great. So again, star seller, if you can work towards it, it's always going to be better. There's literally no negative to it at all. And then you can see here on the right hand side, this is one thing that I always like to point out with shops, especially new shops. I think you're always better using a personal image of yourself, or maybe like you and the team that work on the business as your shop contact. And I think this is just a major thing that helps the audience build trust of you, so they can kind of see straight away that the shop is actually, you know, it's being run by a real person. And then if we scroll down a little bit more, you can see the shop's got an announcement, and I mean, straight away there's a lot of white hearts used here, which is quite eye-catching. I mean, I guess I'm not really the target audience for this shop, so for me it's a little bit, you know, I'm not really that bothered about all the white hearts in the announcement, but I can tell the look they're going for, kind of that cute look, you know, you're kind of getting an overall vibe for the shop that's starting to be built up. You can see the announcement is used absolutely perfectly. So this is something I always recommend as well when I do my Etsy shop reviews. If you're running a sale or anything like that, get that right at the top of the announcement. Or another good one to have is the shipping times. So customers always want to know the shipping times. The announcement's really great to be used for 2 things normally. So of course, special shop announcements, so like sales, you know, delivery times, whether you've got any holidays come up or, you know, anything that you actually can't deliver in. You know, just important information that the customer needs to know. And then secondly, use it as an opportunity to tell a little bit about your story straight away. So you got to think, when somebody goes on the Etsy shop, they see the announcement before they even see any of your product. So the announcement's positioned before your product's on the shop. So it is important for kind of building up that shop image right from the start, okay? And again here, I love how she's actually finished this off with love, Kate. So again, it kind of makes it more personable, and it kind of makes the shop appear a lot more like, you know, it gives it that kind of like solopreneur, like family run, like real cute, artsy sort of shop, okay? Which of course is always going to do best on Etsy. So yeah, just scrolling back up, and any tips I can give on the initial appearance that you can use for your shops. Just a simple banner which relies on your product photography, absolutely perfect for Etsy. You don't need to put massive amounts of detail and time into your logo. It's always better, in my opinion, to just do something simple, minimalist. So another good one is, say your shop name is something like Caitlin Minimalist, and you're not creative at all. You can just have a logo with a nice font that just says CM, okay? And just leave it as that. That's gonna be absolutely fine for Etsy. Star seller, it looks great on the appearance, definitely something to work towards. Use a personable image as your shop contact, and definitely make use of the announcement section. If you don't have an announcement, I recommend go onto this shop, copy the structure that they've used, put your own details in, and apply that to your own shop. Right, so now let's scroll down and actually take a look at the listings of what this shop is actually selling. So, you know, the first thing I'm going to point out to you, and this is pretty much what the game of Etsy is, you can see they've got 1,449 listings, okay? And now this to us is a lot of listings. However, if you're in such a saturated niche like what this like personalized jewelry is, or even something like the new shop that I've just opened in is selling mugs, or if you're trying to sell digital items or pretty much anything print on demand, because the markets are so saturated and there's so much competition out there, you really need massive amount, you really need this amount of listings just to increase the odds of having more of your products show up to customers on the home pages and in the search pages, and then actually increasing the chances of actually getting that first click on just one of your products, say, that's then going to take customers into your shop, where they can then start scrolling through your shop, and suddenly then they're looking at all of your listings, they're scrolling through them rather than scrolling through all of the competition on the homepage. So yeah, that's just one thing I'm always going to say. Over 1,000 listings is definitely a good goal to work towards. Always try and measure your success against your output on Etsy rather than the time spent. So for example, if your shop's been open for 2 months and you haven't made a sale, but you've only actually got 10 listings, you shouldn't really expect to make a sale, okay? And just because your shop's been open for 2 months, that doesn't guarantee sales. Time doesn't guarantee sales. However, if you took another shop that was open for 2 months and they really knuckled down and they had over 500 listings, I can pretty much guarantee that that shop, shop B, is probably already making sales at the 2-month mark, and probably a decent amount of sales as well, simply just because they have so many listings and they've got so many products to offer the customers. So now let's actually take a look at the products, and you can see straight away the featured items that we're presented with. The first thing that strikes out to you is the quality of the photography. So like I mentioned with the shop banner, there's obviously some professional photography being taken here, and when you get to this kind of level, it's so worth it, okay? I mean, your photography, this is gonna apply to no matter what product you're selling, no matter what niche. Even if you're doing print on demand or digital items, the mock-up images, which essentially counts as your photography, this is just so important, okay? Because if somebody doesn't like your images, then the chances are they're never gonna click on your images or your products, and it doesn't matter what you do after this stage. If you're not getting that first click, then, I mean, your chance of selling the product is just gonna be 0 anyway. So yeah, you can see I'm just doing a little scroll through the shop here, and all of the imagery is literally just top notch. Like it really is good photography. And I think this is a massive reason why, to be honest, the actual product itself, I see a lot of this on Etsy, and it's actually a fairly basic product, but I think the thing that really sells it on this shop is the presentation, obviously the brand, and definitely most importantly is it's the photography to actually get that first click. So I'm gonna go into one of the listings here and let's have a look at how the actual listing itself is presented. So again, I've mentioned it already, top quality photography. Every single image serves a purpose. It's showing different angles of the product, you know, shows the product on different skin tones. They've got a lovely chart here which shows different font options, which again is just, it's so on brand. Like everything about this shop I've seen so far is very on brand. And for anyone that doesn't know what I mean by that, essentially everything matches up really well. So the font used, overall style, the imagery, the banner, so you know, everything just kind of goes in unison together and syncs up and looks really good. And then if you're selling physical items, this is always something I recommend. You can see here the last picture is a presentation of the actual packaging that the customer is going to receive. So like I said earlier, because 73% of shoppers on Etsy are shopping for gifts, what's a major thing that we want to know when we're buying a gift for someone? Obviously, how that gift is going to be presented, right? So the major thing is if you're selling anything that can be bought as a gift, you have to show the packaging. And not only that, you actually have to put the time in to make the packaging good in the first place. Because I promise you, if someone's buying a gift, they want to know what the packaging looks like and the packaging has to be top notch. So then another thing I want to show you here is if we move on to the title, and if any of you have checked out my personal shop, this is something that I use myself. So the title, these little dots, so the space, the dot, and then the space after, and then the next set of keywords in the title. This is something I use myself because, I mean, I don't know if this is just a personal thing, but I think it adds so much to the presentation and it just makes the title look so much more professional than, you know, all of the other titles out there on Etsy that either uses commas or, you know, the dashes in between the words, or some even don't use commas or dashes or spaces or anything. And I think this is just a much more professional approach. So if it was me, my best advice, I'd just go on this shop, I'd highlight it, I'd copy it, and I'd put this into my own listing titles. From personal experience, I just think it makes a shop look so much more professional. And then of course, we're gonna get onto the SEO separately. So we'll actually look at the keywords and why they're important a little bit later in the video. So for now, I'm gonna scroll down and show you, of course, the options that are actually available for this listing. So you can see you got the silver, gold, rose gold, and then you've got the different lengths. Now, one thing I wanna point out here with the finish, there's 3 options, okay? I've reviewed shops and I've worked with shops, for example, that sell stuff like digital prints, where they've got maybe 20 to 30 options of different canvas types or, you know, different frames that can be used for the art. And this is an absolute killer for your conversion rate, okay? Sometimes the more options the customer has to choose from, the more it's just gonna paralyze them and it's gonna leave them not knowing what to choose. And the chances are they're just gonna leave the product and they're just gonna go for some other product that has less options and it's easier for them to make a split decision. So yeah, I'd say if you're selling products with variations, you're always better to go minimal rather than having way too many. So I always think a good range to be in for product variations is somewhere between maybe 2 to say probably like top out at like 6. So like 2 to 6 variations, I think that's plenty to choose from. And then of course you can see here they've got the personalization option as well. So it's very straightforward. Please leave us your personalization details, your name and font number. It details the featured font. So I mean, it gives you all of the information that you need. And if you're trying to sell something that's personalized and you don't put this little bit of text in that tells the customer what to put in the personalization box, again, this is just going to lead to probably 2 things happening. And this is either that the customer's going to put in the wrong information, or they're just not going to put information in the format that you need, or they're just going to be a little bit wary about what they're putting in. And again, it might give them another reason to kind of just go off your shop and choose another shop that has a more professional approach, let's say. Now, I was going to spend more time looking at the reviews here, but with over 20,000 reviews, almost 21,000 reviews for this single item, bearing in mind, almost 600,000 reviews for the whole shop, and an average score of 5 stars. Like, are you kidding me? This is absolutely incredible. So I'm just going to give you my honest opinion of why I think these reviews are so good. Number 1 factor, above anything, above even the product, is the packaging. What I found with my personal shop, when I leveled up the packaging, reviews blew in, okay? Packaging, if you're selling physical products, is probably the number one thing that's gonna help you get amazing reviews. I think delivery times as well. If you can have as low of a delivery time as possible, then this is gonna help. I mean, I've had some reviews on my personal shop that literally just say arrived within 48 hours. Absolutely excellent, you know? So people take note of this and people love it. And then of course, don't sell rubbish, right? Goes without saying, no matter what you're selling, don't sell rubbish. If you sell rubbish that takes ages to deliver, chances are you're not gonna get many good reviews and your shop's never really gonna get off the ground. So yeah, then I think let's take a little look about the actual product description and how this is laid out. So again, you can see they've got the dots in between the words. And I think, again, me just looking at this now, it just looks so professional. Everything looks clean. They've got a lot of spaces, which again, I always recommend with your descriptions, space everything out. Don't have everything jumbled up together with hardly any spaces in between. Space it all out. It looks so much more clean, so much more professional. And honestly, it's just such a better way to lay out your shop. But yeah, you can see here, they've got a description of the product, the materials used, the finish, of course, dimensions. They give you the information how to order the product, name and font number. They give you some other information that you need to know about the product. Turnaround times. So turnaround time is about 6 to 10 business days. Now this is custom orders. So when you're selling custom products, this is probably actually fine. But I'd say 10 business days to wait for a product now. I think if you're starting a new shop, like a brand new shop, and you're putting 10 days as your delivery times, people aren't gonna like that. Of course it works for this shop because it's custom and obviously they've got the reviews and the sales history to back it up. They're massive, but yeah, that's a bit of general advice I'd give for anyone starting a new shop. Try and get your delivery times as low as possible. And then of course they've just got a few links here about the policies, link to the About Us section, and you know, they got the socials here, Instagram, Facebook. And again, they finish off with a little like essentially love from Kate. So it says the name, and again, it just adds to that kind of one-to-one family run, you know, cute little Etsy business. And again, it's just very on brand. So now let's take a look at some of the juicy stuff, shall we? And I want to start deep diving now into the actual SEO of this shop. So for this, I'm literally just going to copy the shop name, head over to my Everbee account, paste the shop name in, and this is going to give me all the information I need to know about the shop. So what we can see here is the main keywords, so the main tags that this shop is using, okay? So what I like to do when I'm doing my own keyword research and SEO research and stuff is I'll look at some of the best shops in my niche. I'll copy their name, paste them into Everbee, look at the keywords they use, and then I'll search by keyword score, okay? So what is this keyword score? This is essentially just a combination of the search volumes, so how many people are actually searching for the keyword versus the competition, okay? So a high keyword score is gonna mean that there's a decent amount of volume, but low competition. Whereas a keyword score of basically 0 means there's loads of volume, potentially, or no volume, but then also loads of competition for the product. So for example, if you take a look at some of these keywords here with the higher keyword scores, you can see the keyword actual handwriting. It's got actually really decent search volumes, which, I mean, that's never something I would ever think of searching for. But almost 1,000 search volumes a month is good. Competition's not too bad at all either. 5,000 competition, that's nothing on Etsy. Anything under 60,000 for competition, I think you can definitely compete in, especially as a new shop. So again, this is going to give a pretty high keyword score of 190, which is really good. And I mean, if I was selling similar sorts of product that had like anything to do with handwriting in, I'd be taking this keyword and I'd be using it all day long. So yeah, that's just essentially, that would be my best advice. Take a look at what we know is working for these best shops, okay? Choose the keywords that have a really good keyword score and use them in your own shops. If of course they match up to the products you're trying to sell. And again, one thing I would recommend is, yeah, although some of these keywords, they've got quite a lot of search volume, but they have a keyword score of 0. Like this one, for example, anniversary gift, 13,000 monthly searches is pretty good. However, competition over 3 million. So, I mean, if you're a newer shop and you're trying to rank for this keyword, anniversary gift, the chances are, if you're competing against 3 million other shops that say even each of them have just one sell and and 1 review and you've got no sales and no reviews and you're competing against 3 million other shops, in my opinion, it's a bit of a wasted keyword because you're going to find it so hard to rank for it anyway. So yeah, that's just a little bit about the tags and the kind of keywords that this shop uses and kind of what I would recommend for kind of some advice that we can take away and use in our own shops. Now, I just want to show you here some of the products and how much some of the products are making on the shop. And again, this is another incredible Everbee feature, by the way. I love Everbee to bits. I use it for everything and I just think it gives so much good information. But you can see here, the top product, and make sure you're sat down when you're listening to this, okay? What I'm about to say. Monthly revenue for this one product, $117,000 a month. That's one product, guys. Look at that, another product, $65,000 a month, 52, 39, 31, 27, 23. I mean, this shop is earning probably almost $1 million a month. They're making so many sales. I mean, it's just incredible. You can see this top listing, for example, the one that's earning $117,000 a month. It's only been listed for 36 months as well, so 3 years, which, I mean, that's not a lot of time to go from 0 to $120,000 a month in 3 years for one product. Absolutely insane. And now I just want to show you another really cool tip here. This is something I use all the time on Everbee. If you click on that listing, it's going to bring you up some more detailed stats, show you stuff like the conversion rate, review ratios, which, I mean, to be fair, that's absolutely incredible. A 20% review ratio. So 1 out of every 5 people that buys this product leaves a review, which is really good. The standard's normally 1 in 10, something like that. So yeah, really good. I think it's a lot to do with the packaging as well. But anyway, if you scroll down, this is, in my opinion, one of the best features about using these sort of research apps. You can see the tags that this exact product is using. So again, this is something I use all the time. If I'm selling a similar product on my store, I'm 100% going on here. I'm sorting by keyword score, and then any keywords that are applicable to my product that have a decent keyword score of say 10 and above, I'm literally copying straight away and I'm putting straight onto my own product, okay? Because we know it works. And for me, it's just the best, easiest way to do what I'd call lazy SEO, that it's just going to give you the biggest bang for your buck and just the best output, basically. So yeah, that's a quick rundown of the SEO and what I would do and what I would take from this shop and other shops, for example, to help improve my personal SEO. Now, I want to scroll down, so we'll go past all the reviews. I don't think there's much point mentioning too much about them because obviously they're all absolutely exceptional. When you got this many sales, even if they were to get a few 1-star reviews now, it would be a drop in the ocean. It wouldn't matter. They get so many 5-star reviews now, they're pretty much never losing that review score. But the bit I did want to show you is this about us section. Straight away, you can see here the images used, they're telling a story, they're showing the packaging, they feature the baby, they're showing the actual handmade aspect of the product, okay? It's everything that I try and teach people that you know, you guys, if I'm coaching with you, you'll be sick of me saying this. You have to build trust with shoppers. One of the best ways to do it is to just complete your about us section. It's also a great way to show additional features of your product, like the packaging, you know, like intricate details, how the product's made, stuff that sometimes you maybe wouldn't include in your main product images or in your banner and stuff. You can include it here. Great opportunity to tell the story. I mean, this literally proves my exact point. Crafted jewelry with love. The very first thing it says here is my story. So it tells the story of the shop. And I mean, as I was talking to you just then about the story, I didn't actually see this, but this backs up my point perfectly. I mean, this shop just does everything right. It literally just does everything right, guys, okay? It's everything that I employ and I try and teach when I coach people, when I review your shops as well. I guarantee I'd be mentioning something about the About Us section. If you don't have it filled out and you don't take anything else away from this video, just straight away hop on, fill out the About Us section of your shop, please. It makes such a difference to your conversion rates. If you scroll down a little bit here, of course, you've got all of the socials links, you've got the members of the shop. So yeah, obviously this is a mega shop. It's a full business operation now. Like I said, they've got separate photographers, designers. I mean, obviously Kate, who owns it. I actually spoke to Kate, so I had the luxury to actually send Kate a message to actually ask her if she'd be happy with me doing this and like featuring the shop. Super friendly, got back to me straight away, said that's absolutely fine. And I'm happy I've done this video because it's, yeah, everything about this shop is just amazing. And yeah, if you like what I've done with this review, guys, or if you think there's any value in what I'm saying, then of course feel free to drop me a message. Of course, you can also book a call to speak directly with me. I'll leave a link to that in the video description. Everbee as well have kindly sponsored today's video, so if you like the look of Everbee, I'll leave a link to them in the video description as well. You know from my other videos, they're the #1 app I use, best SEO research app. But yeah, I really hope you got some value from this video, guys. If you want to check out some more of my content, then I recommend this video here. Otherwise, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.